Welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Anurekha Chariwag, Assistant Professor, Savitribai Phule, Pune University. Today we are going to discuss the module Sociology within Professional Institutions. As students of sociology, it is important for us to understand and recognize that sociology is taught and practiced not only in institutions that offer sociology specializations, but also in institutions that offer technology, law, medicine and management. In these institutions, you have a paper called sociology which is taught to the students. And many times it is very difficult for the students who want to pursue law, for example, to understand why would they need to pursue sociology. But as part of the higher education policy, it is important that when the students start practicing law, they have a wider understanding of the society, and therefore they are expected to learn disciplines such as history, economics, sociology for that matter. So today we are going to take the experiences of teachers who are sociologists but are based in different disciplinary locations and institutions. And through their experiences of being a teacher and practitioners of sociology, we'll try to understand the diversity towards doing sociology in India. Objectives. How do the macros policies of education policy impact the practices of the discipline? 2. Understand that students from professional institutions engage with sociology differently as a marginal subject. 3. What are the challenges faced by sociology teachers teaching discipline to non-sociology students? Practice of sociology in professional institutions. Over a period of time, sociology has been taught as a part of humanities within most of the elite professional institutions. Analysis of the disciplinary practices of this discipline requires a critical examination of each of its locations. After an evaluation of disciplinary practices and institutional locations in universities and colleges, it is important that we examine the actual practice of teaching sociology in professional institutions. Chaudhary argues that sociology as a discipline is marginal in these institutions. This is very true. Speaking from experiences of teaching sociology to law students in one of the premier law schools in the country, I can say that it was an erroneous task. Looking back at my classes, I think I spent most of the time in discussing how sociology would be relevant to them as law students. It is very difficult to teach and engage with the classes if every time one has to think about the viability and necessity of doing sociology. The more premier the professional institutions, the more marginalized location humanities occupy, and specifically in this context, a discipline like sociology. Such a fragile position of sociology is further challenged with the shift in the very meaning of what constitutes education and knowledge. With the onslaught of neoliberal policies, one finds a change in the vision in these institutions from nationalist vision of nation building in the Nehruvian era to transnational global demands of efficiency and relevance. In such demanding times, Chaudhary argues that it is important to argue for a sociological practice that helps not just critical thinking but also endows basic democratic and egalitarian values to the students. It is important to recognize that one has to traverse the complex fields of disciplinary marginality. Why? Within the hierarchy of social sciences, sociology has to struggle to find a higher position, which is captured by disciplines such as economics, history and political science. This complexity is further stretched when one is trying to argue for sociology within institutions that place a premium on technology and management. And then in the class and staff meetings, one faces the dominant perception that sociology is nothing more than common sense, requiring no deep thought and thinking. When one thinks of this picture, it makes sense to analyze how scholars negotiated the challenges and through this make a strong argument for sociology. The issues raised in this module relating to the practices of the discipline in professional institutions will be discussed under 3 sections. Section 1, the historical location of the discipline within the institution. Section 2, sociology in the margins and students' perception of the discipline. And Section 3, experiences of being a teacher. In doing this, we shall discuss arguments for 4 different scholars working in different locations including management, technology and engineering, nursing and law institutions. The reflections with regard to management and technology and engineering institutions are specific specific. It includes analysis of Indian Institute of Management, Kolkata and the Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay. The analysis with regard to nursing and law are not specific to any particular institute but to the profession. However, both are based in Kolkata, West Bengal. In these institutions, the students have different expectations from the program they have chosen for themselves and thus carry an ambivalent attitude towards the discipline of sociology. Generally, students ask questions about its relevance to the field of specialization, feel the irrelevance of engaging with the discipline, consider it as a waste of time. While some of them do not even have a position of it, they often ignore it. In such a scenario, the marginality of the disciplines gets reflected on marking the practitioners marginal in the process of knowledge within these elite institutions. The scholars analyzing the discipline within professional institutions are located in different institutions. There are two common threads that tie them together. One, the analysis and observation of four different scholars are based on their personal reflections and experiences in being sociology teachers in professional institutions. Secondly, they are both insiders and outsiders, which is crucial in terms of their reflections. On one hand, because each of them is a faculty member of these institutions, they are insiders. On the other hand, because sociology as a discipline is positioned in the margins, they are relegated to being an outsider, the ones who do not belong. Section 1. Historical location of the discipline within the institution. It is by now well recognized that any analysis of the discipline needs to contextualize itself within the process of institutionalization. The examination as to why a particular institution was established, its vision statement and the rationale for the practices with regard to the disciplines is important for understanding the disciplinary trajectory. What does it imply for an understanding of sociology? The argument is we want to examine and evaluate the disciplinary position of sociology within institutions that are not focused on learning sociology, unlike university disciplinary departments. In the case of the Indian Institute of Management institutions, IIMs, Thakur argues that by focusing on the trajectory of sociology within IIMs, both its history and contemporary trends, one can reflect on the institutional and intellectual legacies of sociology. Though IIMs were initially modeled on the lines of American management schools, the institutions closely reflected and nurtured the vision of development, modernization and democracy of the Indian state. It is important to recognize that sociology lies in the margins within one of the most visible, recognized and celebrated educational institutions in India. What was then the model institutionalized by American schools of business and management with reference to the discipline? Sociology was bestowed an important strategic importance in the management process. Scholars reflecting on this generally refer to the appointment of Elton Mayo at Harvard Business School in 1960. What did it imply? Thakur argues that it implied equating industrial sociology with Hawthorne experiments. As a result, sociology is generally perceived as a discipline resolving industrial conflict and a source of social skills. That is, as Thakur states, solving human, read labor, problems in industrial societies. Such promise in the discipline justified its strategic presence in management schools. The justification runs on two levels. One, through sociology, management students can learn about institutions, especially industrial institutions such as trade union, labor market, enterprise, and also reflect on the interaction of industrial institutions with other institutions such as family, class, politics and education. Second, through sociology, students learn to be good managers, as it was believed that the discipline had a liberalizing effect on them, helped them broaden their perspective and understand the social values defining industrial institutions. In order to understand the marginality of the discipline within IIMs, it is important to know the stated objectives of the institution. Thakur states that the objectives of IIM, such as meeting the needs of the industry, assisting solution of management problems and developing indigenous literature on management through effective programs of teaching, research, consultancy and publication, was closely intertwined with the post-independence drive of the Indian state towards industrialization and development. So IIMs were an integral part of the nationalist vision of development. What was surprising was that the policy makers could not perceive any inherent inconsistency of ideas between the vision of IIMs and the quest for a society based on socialist ideas as national goal. Drawing upon initial IIM convocation addresses, Thakur argues that it was expected that IIM graduates, by working in the public sector, would facilitate the building of an India based on socialism. Thus, IIMs were an integral part of building a modern industrial nation based on the values of socialism. It is important to recognize that IIMs were perceived as strengthening and make possible the process of industrialization in the country. Continuing similarly, one can see see from the analysis of Ganguly that sociology as a discipline was considered essential to the vision of nurse training. Ganguly states that it needs to be recognized as sociology has been, for law, an integral part of sociology in undergraduate nursing courses. The discipline is incorporated in terms of its functional utility. He draws on the West Bengal University of Health Sciences, where it is stated that the syllabus is designed to reorient students to sociology related to community and social institutions in India and its relationship with health, illness and nursing. Historically, sociology as a discipline was given a rationale that health and community are closely interrelated. It was argued that having sociology would make possible a broad-based sensitization and training of the nurses, orienting them to the development within society and making them sensitive to the social world. It is expected that sociology will help to reflect upon their personal values, making them more tolerant and less judgmental in their action. Then what about law? Sen argues that the rationale for studying law is based on an understanding of the perceived role of his students as legal practitioners in the larger society. According to her, most of the law schools in India are generally influenced by observations and recommendations of Professor Madhava Menon, who recommended for independent law schools. For Menon, it was important that students, while learning clinical legal education, make connections with larger issues. For Menon, it was important that students, while learning clinical legal education, make connections with larger issues concerning legal theory, public policy and social justice. So he demanded for a 5-year law program wherein the first 2 years had to be law subjects in combination with social science and humanities subjects. So developing a sense of responsibility in the student to serve the society and promoting interdisciplinary study of law was believed would help law and legal processes to be efficient instruments of social development. Similarly, in the case of Indian Institute of Technology, sociology or rather humanities and social sciences were expected to play a crucial role in shaping the students. They draws upon the website of the Department of HSS, which rationalizes the significance of the discipline. The website states the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences play a unique and distinctive role in an institute where the ethos of science and technology prevail. It is believed that engineering and science are by their very nature humanistic and socially derived enterprises. Hence, a complete science and technology education must include liberal arts, economics, social and behavioral sciences, where the student unites application of scientific principles along with human, moral and social understanding. The undergraduate courses taught by the department faculty aim at making the science and technology students aware of the various issues concerning man and society. They are meant to sensitize students to the broader social, economic, cultural, ethical and humane values involved in social change. This implies that in terms of its vision and values, social sciences and humanities are considered an important element of IIT, believing that engaging with these ideas and perspectives makes students sensitive to larger social issues. This implies that in terms of its vision and values, social sciences and humanities are considered an important element of IIT, believing that engaging with these issues and perspectives make the students sensitive to larger social issues. The analysis present above make for a case that sociology is integral to the vision of education. If this is so, then the question then becomes pertinent is why then sociology is pushed to the margins within these institutions and how do the students perceive the discipline. Section 2. Sociology in the margins and students' perception of the discipline. To put this question as far as IIMs are concerned, Thakur argues that it is a combination of factors that push sociology towards a marginal position. Thus, the vision of IIMs is to facilitate building of a society based on socialistic values. 1. Within the world of management, sociology as a discipline does not provide the requisite skill much needed to be the best. Scholars belonging to the management disciplines are in charge of important programs, design the vision, and by offering a number of programs to the market such as management development programs, training and consultancy, bring in money and recognition to the institute. Social sciences, which include sociology, does not have this kind of orientation and thus occupy marginal position. Sociologists are considered inferior and scholars have to constantly prove that sociology is an empirical and scientific discipline. To add to this marginality, the mainstream of sociology on the other hand does not recognize these institutions as potential sites of academic research and teaching. Joining IIM and joining Jawaharlal Nehru University for a sociologist does not carry the the same meaning. Thakur states that for a sociologist, joining JNU connotes being part of what is the best in the discipline. Based on the above information, one can argue that sociology faces double marginality, where on the one hand, institutions such as IIMs push sociology to the margins. On the other hand, mainstream sociology, institutionalized in central and state universities, perceive sociology pursued in management and professional institutions as marginal. As students, we need to understand that marginality of any discipline is perceived not only in terms of its, as students, we need to understand that the marginality of any discipline is perceived not only in terms of its institutional location but also disciplinary location. Thakur goes on to state that though the mission statement of most of the IIMs stresses on values and social concern and aim to develop social sensitivity among its students, the courses offered and its syllabi do not offer much in terms of its sociological perspective and component. The fact that IIMs are not organized around distinctive disciplinary identities reflects that it has a negligible presence. With regard to the marginal positioning in nursing, Ganguly argues that nursing students have an apprehension that sociology as a discipline does not have applicability or viability in the field. Ganguly argues that what has happened is that while designing the sociology course, it is not realized that the nurses have to be made aware and sensitive of what it costs to the people. According to him, nurses fear that health sector is changing rapidly and sociology focusing on theoretical aspect does not equip them with relevant skills necessary to tackle the new development. This opinion pushes the discipline to the margins within nursing. Among the many responses that the law students have is that sociology, because it deals with society of which we are members, it's easy to study and comprehend and therefore requires no special effort. In addition, optional courses offered include areas like gender and law, international human rights law, disability and law, law and culture and pluralism. Among the above listed course, the course on international human rights law has much in demand because of the high international popularity. But the other courses are perceived by the students to be theoretical and heavy and thus many are not interested. Students prefer to sign up for courses such as law and economics as compared to courses offered by sociology because it is considered an added value to specialize in law courses such as corporate law, banking law or trade law. To add to this, sociology as a discipline in India has not reflected consistently on law in India, and so there is a dearth of literature on the interface between law and sociology. Sen states that law as a discipline or practice has not been of much scholarly interest to the social science academic community. In addition, one can observe that sociology undergrad and postgraduate courses do not have many components dealing with law. Section 3. Experience of being a teacher. The experience of being a teacher is varied. Among the scholars, it is Sen and Dev who have reflected much more in detail with regard to the teaching experience. For Thakur, the experience of being a teacher is tied to the perception of the discipline within the institution. He states that it is unfortunate that even when sociologists are increasingly offering consultancies with NGO and corporate houses doing social auditing, the image of the discipline is that of a vague discipline dealing with issues of religion, caste, village, and thus is not needed in professional institutions such as IIMs. Such a perspective puts a great deal of pressure on being identified as a sociology teacher. Similarly, Ganguly argues that the experience of a sociology teacher is different in a nursing college as she is placed subsidiary, hierarchically lower placed than other faculty members teaching nursing. Sen argues that one faces a feeling of identity crisis. She states to the community outside, I am a pseudo lawyer, and to community inside the law school, I am a social scientist in a law school. She raises an important question by asking whether one is teaching sociology of law or sociology to law students. This is for her a very important question. Sen draws upon the arguments of Cotterell, who believes that we should ask the question whether in law school one is teaching sociology to law students or teaching sociology of law. Sen believes that one teaches sociology to law students. What is the difference? For Sen, sociology of law aims to interpret complexity of social details and link the legal experience of individual and of different social groups to construct perspectives. Unfortunately, in India there is no established subdiscipline of sociology of law. We continue to teach sociology without making any linkages of legal with sociological perspectives. The challenge lies in pushing the students to believe that sociology is significant in legal education. Sociology shapes a law student into nurturing a sociological imagination. Such an imagination constantly pushes one to examine for linkages between development and wider social relations to interpret law within the wider social context. Further, it helps one to understand why law get passed at particular historical moments and its reflection on society. Additionally, the study of sociology is crucial because laws are not only the results of benevolence of the state and the judiciary but also the result of social movements. Sociology has a strong research methodology perspective which is very crucial for pursuing legal research. One can conclude by arguing that reflexivity is crucial to sociology, which nurtures a critical component in our understanding of society. It is this critical approach that the legal culture needs so as to be relevant for the future. Sociology and legal studies should approach each other through the framework of transdisciplinarity, each building on the strength of the other and in the process strengthening itself. It is Dev who reflects in greater detail with regard to his identity as a teacher and his interventions to make sociology more integrated in the perception of his students. The reason I believe is that Dev identifies himself more as a teacher than as a researcher. He consciously identifies himself more as a teacher of sociology. Why is this identity important? Dev believed that sociology was a discipline possessing a strong subversive potential, which could unravel the relations of power and domination implicit in everyday life, in social processes and institutions. Teaching the students and facilitating within them the development of sociological imagination and critical sensitivity to social inequality and justice was not only challenging but also personally fulfilling. In analyzing Dev's analysis, one has to realize that for him, it was a professional and personal commitment, and the discipline defined his identity both as a professional and as a person. To this, one needs to add another dimension. We need to recognize that Dev's disciplinary location of teaching in both mainstream state university and IIT and elite technology institute makes his reflections important for critically evaluating the disciplinary trajectory of sociology. His self-evaluation is interesting and pertinent to the analysis. The challenge in teaching sociology in an elite technology institute is quite distinct from that of a state university. It would also be important to recognize that the challenge lies in teaching the core course in sociology to a large class of students who are generally disinterested in the subject and would not be pursuing the discipline in the later years. Though the mandate of the institution was to inculcate social sensitivity within the students through a grounding of social sciences, the students are generally not concerned or even interested in it. The major challenge is thus to make the students realize that sociological understanding is different from commonsensical knowledge and the journalistic approach to social issues. The challenge lies in facilitating students to appreciate the depth of sociological knowledge and inculcating within them the required sociological imagination. The perspective would help them to understand the social issues holistically so that they would develop sensitivity towards social issues. To take up the challenge of making sociology more interesting for the students, they've experimented with a number of innovative teaching practices. A particular practice used by Dev is to inculcate sociological imagination within the students included the pedagogical technique of teacher as a text, where the teacher gives her or his lived experiences and helps them to understand that one needs to contextualize them in the larger macro context. As Jacob states, teacher as text is a pedagogical practice where he as a teacher uses his personal experience to nurture sociological imagination within students. He states, shared my personal experience with the class and used them to illustrate theoretical concepts and encouraged my students to use my illustration to understand how power works productively and destructively in their own lived experiences. With eternal vigilance and self-reflection, the teacher as a text facilitates the formation of sociological imagination. It is in this manner that Dev used his personal experience to help students develop sociological imagination. The idea is for the students to realize that personal experience should not prevent them from critically analyzing the issue in terms of larger context in which it is embedded. This practice is used not only in his class but also to nurture sociological sensitivity among students. In order to do this, Dev intervenes very actively in newsgroup debates on various socio-political issues of national interest and on issues concerning campus life. Such a practice does challenge many administrators and faculty from different, especially engineering departments, but Dev argues that it was important to bring out in the discussion forums the one-dimensional perspectives and arguments of many scholars. Thus, the challenge is to carve a space for sociological inquiry within the highly technologically dominated spaces. But this has to be done without compromising one's dignity and disciplinary interest. It is important to note that Dev believes that networking and getting massive funding for projects remain important because these activities get the discipline visibility and employment for those research students who are without fellowships. But those like me who cannot do consultancy or get massive projects also have a place within that framework. We are doing a very crucial job. We are training future technologists to think critically, to be sensitive of the conditions of the poor and oppressed sections of a society, and inculcating in them secular and humanitarian values. Conclusion. The question is whether it is possible to maintain a judicious balance between expectations of IIMs in terms of applied research and training and the conceptual and theoretical rigor of sociology. Thakur states that we need to create spaces for engagement and dialogue between practitioners of the discipline irrespective of sites of the practices. What also needs to be understood is that there is an increasing trend within the profession transcending institutional location of the growth of a new breed of scholars whom we refer to as corporate scholars, who specialize essentially in networking. Dev, what does it exactly mean? According to Dev, these scholars are those who aspire to be a big name in academics without essentially being a great scholar due to person's capabilities in networking. According to Dev, such practice within academia pushes to the backstage the earlier practice of teaching, inspiring students and investing one's life in analyzing an idea. But one needs to realize that this trend within academia is not related to one's location in state universities or professional institutions. Rather, it is a neoliberal education model that is pushing scholars to pursue academics in terms of output, such as number of conferences attended, papers published, projects at hand which could be measured and evaluated. So, academicians do not invest time, energy and effort in teaching and motivating students other than the expected minimum requirement by institutions, because at the end of the day it cannot be calculated to be cashed for in returns in terms of promotion or career advancement. In such a context, when sociology itself is facing a number of challenges in terms of its relevance, it is important to remember that sociology as a theoretical perspective explores both the micro-politics of everyday life and links it up with the macro-politics of institutional policies. Any discipline that carries within it the potential and capacity to critically reflect on itself can never lose its significance. After discussing the practice of sociology in professional institutions, especially based upon the experiences of different scholars who are based in different disciplinary locations such as that of IIMs, IITs, law and nursing, it becomes important for us to understand how sociology is practiced within these different institutions. So, one gets an understanding that yes, sociology is not a homogeneous kind of an entity. Yes, there are diverse locations. Yes, there are diverse ways in which sociology is practiced, both in terms of its research and training. But what is important is to know the fact that within these different professional institutions, in its vision statement, sociology has been given a prime importance. But in practice, both the student and other faculty, other disciplinary locations within the institute do not give that much importance to sociology. Therefore, it becomes very important as students of sociology that we need to make sociology more strong, not only theoretically but also methodologically. And to do this, we need to encourage critical thinking not only of the discipline but also of ourselves as teachers and students of sociology.